We have breaking news right now. The federal government, under the Trump administration, has tasked a company called Palantir to begin creating a massive database of all Americans to include information already accessible by the federal government by using a tool created by Palantir called the Palantir Foundry tool to essentially data scrap information across agencies throughout the federal government, including the IRS, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the Social Security Administration to create a massive database of data that includes information of every single United States American to be able to eventually go after them, persecute them, track them. Experts across the political spectrum are raising alarm bells right now. Because according to the New York Times, this is a massive database that the Trump administration has tasked Palantir with building. And Palantir was founded by none other than Peter Thiel, who is a right wing figure who supported Donald Trump, who founded this data company, this intelligence company, and can now use or will have access to American data across the country that can be used to track, detain, and persecute Americans that the Trump administration does not support or agree with. According to reports, this is already being done through to expedite the mass deportation efforts by the Trump administration. They're using existing data throughout the federal government, specifically in the Department of Homeland Security, to expedite removal proceedings. And observers note that Thiel, who is a longtime advocate for a strong centralized power and a self-described political disruptor, has spent years positioning Palantir at the intersection of government and surveillance. And this move is raising significant concerns about privacy, civil liberties, and the role of private techs or the role of private tech firms in state intelligence efforts. Folks, I can't be more serious than this morning. This is real, and it is happening according to the New York Times right now as we speak. Before I continue, if you want to support my work, especially in the face of something like this, in which they can definitely use that to track me, please consider subscribing to my Substack by clicking the button below or sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. In addition, U.S. immigration authorities are now collecting data from migrants, including children, including those under the age of 15, and uploading it to a national criminal database, according to newly released government documents. The FBI-run system is typically used for individuals arrested or convicted of crimes. But the migrants who are being included in this database now have never been charged with any felonies. The Trump administration has further admitted to wrongfully deporting another man to El Salvador despite a court order blocking the removal, citing a, quote, confluence of administrative errors. Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that he plans to raise tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from 25% to 50% effective June 4th. College and university leaders have been quietly meeting with senior White House officials in an effort to avoid the kind of federal pressure aimed at Harvard. They are essentially caving before the Trump administration even goes after them. Despite claims made by RFK Jr. earlier this week, the CDC's updated immunization schedule still recommends COVID vaccines for healthy children so long as it is approved by their doctor. The Trump administration has delivered a major setback to HIV vaccine research by shutting down a $258 million program that was considered vital to ongoing development efforts. A federal appellate court overnight ruled that Donald Trump's plan to carry out mass firings across multiple federal agencies will remain on hold. The decision is a significant setback for Donald Trump's efforts to downsize the federal government through sweeping layoffs known as reductions in workforce. Donald Trump yesterday said he did not rule out pardoning Diddy. We're also learning that he has not ruled out, according to the New York Times, pardoning former New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez, who was convicted of bribery and is facing an 11-year prison sentence. Iran has continued to expand its stockpile of aluminum or of uranium enriched close to weapons-grade levels, according to a confidential report from a UN watchdog. New satellite images show that North Korea has deployed what appears to be balloons near a damaged 5,000-ton warship that has remained partially submerged since a failed launch last week. And workers at the U.S. Department of Energy are warning that budget cuts and deregulation are weakening the agency's ability to function and could drive up energy costs for customers. Folks, that's all the news right now. I'm sure I'll have more this afternoon, so stay tuned. Subscribe to support my work, and I'll see you this evening.